Some dive sites teach you skills, others teach you humility, and a few will completely reset how you see the ocean. If you have ever wondered what it actually takes to dive the world's most iconic sites safely, this is the roadmap, but also a list of many places I have yet to visit, but I hope to visit in the future. Maybe you can join me. Today, I'm breaking down 10 destinations that are not the typical tropical reef vacations, and what makes each one worth the effort. I'm Don, and I spent years researching these trips and diving a wide range of conditions so you can plan with fewer surprises. Let's start with a place where the bottom disappears and the sharks show up like a storm. Imagine drifting in the blue water with no reef below you, just open ocean. Then the current picks up. You are moving fast now, maybe 2 knots. Or in other words, about 4 kilometers or 2 miles per hour. And then you see them. Hundreds of hammerheads stacked in formation like a living wall. They're not hunting, they're just there, moving as one mass. And if you get separated here, you do not land on a reef. You land in the blue water. This is Cocos Island, Costa Rica. It is about 530 kilometers or 329 miles off the coast. This is on my list because I want that moment when the ocean goes from empty to alive in a single breath. For diving here, advanced open water or equivalent is a realistic minimum, plus strong drift experience and confidence deploying a DSMB. You also want to be comfortable with deeper profiles because the action often happens at 25 to 30 meters or 80 to 100 feet. A lot of deep dives are blue water drifts with limited visual references, so buoyancy and situational awareness have to be automatic. Seasons matter too. Sometimes you get calmer crossings and cleaner conditions. Sometimes you get the full chaos that brings the big schools. If that all sounds intense, the next destination takes it even further. Now picture this. You drop into water so clear it feels like flying. You descend along a rock that disappears into the dark blue nothing. You're at 20 meters down, or 66 feet. And then you continue down to 30 meters, or 100 feet. Then out of nowhere, hammerheads start flying below you in all directions. You turn, and a manta slides past. And if you're lucky, a whale shark drifts through. Remote water, exposed conditions, and you still have to stay calm and controlled. This is Malpelo Island, Colombia. It sits about 400 kilometers or 304 miles off the coast of Colombia in the Pacific. This is on my list because I want a clean, controlled deep drift where the ocean just keeps delivering. And the fortunate news is I plan to go there this year. By the time this video releases, I might have already gone. It's that close, I can feel it. And if you plan on going there too, I highly recommend enriched air nitrox and a real comfort at depth. Most encounters happen between 25 to 36 meters or 82 to 118 feet. And the surge near the rock pinnacles can push you around if you're not paying attention. June to November is often a strong window when to visit. And the water can run cooler than you expect, around 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So a 5mm wetsuit is a standard choice for many divers. Now, let us move from the wild offshore Pacific to a place that feels a little bit calmer, until suddenly it's not. Some places feel gentle on the surface, and then something enormous appears in a way that resets your whole sense of scale. That is French Polynesia, a French territory in the South Pacific. From August to October, humpbacks migrate through the islands to breed and calve. You're not allowed to scuba dive with them, but you are allowed to snorkel or free dive because encounters are often shallow and dynamic. This is obvious on my list because I really enjoy whales. The level of intelligence and being able to get so close is truly a life-changing moment. But scuba diving around the islands is still excellent, I hear. Moderate currents, healthy reef structure in many areas, reef sharks that turn safety stops into a show. If you have solid buoyancy control and you are comfortable around larger marine life, it is an incredible mix of calm and adrenaline. From dolphins, massive schools of fish, rays, turtles, vibrant corals, and sharks, the French Polynesia Islands have the classic tropical reef feel. But sometimes, the best diving is not with living animals at all. Now, let us trade open water for a place where you can swim through history. But first, if you're enjoying this video, now is a great time to like and subscribe. If you find this information valuable, share it with others. I post weekly content to help divers grow their skills, build confidence, and explore the ocean with curiosity and care. And if you're looking to be up to date with the latest and greatest of the scuba diving industry, I have just a free monthly newsletter for you. Check it out in the description below and I'll see you there. Next, there is a lagoon where the seafloor is littered with remains of a single moment in history. An epic battle that took place in World War II that ended with much of the Japanese fleet sunk to the bottom. Steel holes, cargo holds, and corridors that still feel like they are mid-mission. This is Chuuk Lagoon in the Federated States of Micronesia. This is on my list because wrecks like this are history you can physically move through and will not last forever. This is also on my list to go this year, so I'm quite excited. But even if wreck penetration is not your thing, you can do beautiful exterior dives here. But if you want to go inside, advanced wreck training is not optional. You need to be comfortable with overhead environments, line awareness, and SIL discipline. Some wrecks sit at 12 meters or 39 feet, while others are at 40 meters or 131 feet, or even deeper, so technical diving can be beneficial, but I hear the wrecks can still mostly be enjoyed in recreational depths. That means gas management and planning matter, especially across multiple dives per day. Visibility ranges from 15 to 30 meters or 50 to 100 feet depending on the season and conditions. Many divers tend to target between December to April for steadier weather, but around that range is usually fine. But it's important to note the wrecks are deteriorating. If you want to see them with structure intact, do not wait. From man-made wreckage, let us head to natural formations carved over millennia. Now, imagine descending into a cavern where light beams cut through the entrance behind you. Somewhere in the middle, fresh water meets salt water, and you hit that halocline. Everything goes blurry for a moment. Then it clears again. These are the cenotes of the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. I've dove there before, and as a recreational diver, believe it or not even having a cavern certification, but I do want to go back and experience them again while getting proper cavern and potentially cave certified. They are flooded limestone caverns and cave systems, often with fresh water and layered salt water. Buoyancy control and good trim is critical, and control over your finning technique. One careless move can turn a perfect visibility into a silt out. Visibility is often 30 meters or 100 feet or more. When the silt is settled, visibility can be 30 meters or 100 feet or more. The water temperature is commonly around 24 to 26 degrees Celsius or 75 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, so that's decently warm. If you want to stay in the light zone, dive with a qualified guide and follow the cavern rules. If you go beyond it, cave training is vital. This is on my list because it looks like you are diving inside a cathedral built by geology, and these cenotes are truly incredible. Now, let us go from underground caverns to the coldest water most divers will ever enter. This next dive is about as remote as one can get, where you have a chance to bear witness to leopard seals and penguins. It is ice diving in conditions most divers will never experience. The water temperature can sit near the freezing point of seawater, about minus 1.8 degrees Celsius or 28.8 degrees Fahrenheit. This is Antarctica. You are diving under ice, which means overhead environment protocols apply because you cannot surface wherever you want. A tether plus surface support is standard. You need a dedicated tender and a dry suit with undergarments rated for extreme cold. Regulators can freeze, and small problems become big problems faster when your hands are cold under thick gloves. The real spectacle is brinicles. Brinicles form during periods of active sea ice growth. Brine gets expelled from forming sea ice. It supercools and sinks, then freezes into descending tubes of ice. When that super cold brine plume hits the seafloor, it can kill slow-moving animals caught in its path. Seeing that in real time would be worth every bit of discomfort to me. And even without a brinicle, the ice landscape is unreal. I hear it's like underwater castles. And I can't wait to venture down there to see it in the future for myself. From the coldest dive site to one of the more comfortable ones next. This is the opposite of remote and challenging. No boat schedule, no rush, just repetition and time underwater. It is the shore diving capital of the Caribbean, and I still haven't been there. And the island is basically a giant training ground. This is Bonaire in the Caribbean Netherlands. Currents are minimal at many sites. Visibility often sits around 20 to 30 meters or 66 to 100 feet. Water temperature is roughly 25 to 28 degrees Celsius or 78 to 83 degrees Fahrenheit. There are more than 60 marked dive sites. Most are a short walk from the road. This is where you build your dive count, practice skills, and dial in buoyancy until it's boring. It is also great for underwater photography because you can repeat a site until the shot is right. I hope to visit in the future and enjoy the more relaxing vibe and the epic diving I heard about. From warm water Caribbean shore diving back to cold water for kelp forests. Cold water diving. It changes you. It forces patience. It rewards people who slow down and actually look around. This is cold water diving in British Columbia, Canada. Expect roughly 7 to 12 degrees Celsius or 44 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the season and conditions. You will need a dry suit, or at least really want one. And the payoff is sometimes the biggest personalities in the Pacific Northwest. Think giant Pacific octopus, wolf eels, and kelp forests that feel like underwater redwoods. That is God's pocket. This is on my list because it's close to where I live, and I've heard from many that is truly some of the best cold water diving on this planet. How could I not go? Maybe you can join me. Ultimately, these are all dive sites and destinations we all dream about. Find something that resonates with you and start building towards it. They are good goals to have for your skills and continued love for the ocean. I'd love to know your top destinations in which that you hope to visit one day. Please do share with me the top 3 in the comments below. And if you're looking to improve your skills to make sure that you can venture to these dream dive sites, check out this intermediate dive skill playlist that I've made and curated for these specific needs. And also, YouTube thinks you might like this video over here. You can check that out as well. The more you know, the more you love and protect the ocean. Until next time.